Welcome, friends, it's the Movie Film Podcast. Movie Film Podcast, enjoy the show. Zachy and Brian are talking about movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio.
Welcome to Movie Film. This is episode 195, brought to you by Mr. Boy Productions. My name is Zachy Hassan, and I'm here with Brian Hall.
Hey, how's it going, Zachy?
Good morning.
Good morning.
So it's been a couple weeks, and you have traveled since the last time.
Yes, I have.
Since the last time I heard from you. I was going to say since I saw you, but I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, well, so my girlfriend and I are long distance at the moment. She's out in New York, and so we take turns traveling across the country, and I was over there for Valentine's Day. I was going to tell this story because, A, it's an awesome story, but B, it's somewhat movie related. So before I flew out there, like a day or two before, I was thinking about Parasite because it just won Best Picture. And when I saw it several months ago, there's a meal that they make in there called, in the movie, it's called Ramdan, right? And so when I saw it in October or whatever it was, I Googled it and found out that technically Ramdan doesn't exist because it is something the translator made up.
Oh, wow.
Because it's basically, for lack of a better word, it's sort of a stoner dish where you take a little bit of this, a little bit of that off your shelf, and you mix it all together. And the whole point in the movie is they're making this sort of, lo-fi meal, but then they chop up this nice sirloin and put it on top. So that's what the rich family does, and it's almost like a commentary through food.
I see.
And so I was very, disheartened that I wouldn't be able to go to a restaurant and try this. But when it was won Best Picture, people were like, well, actually, here's how you make it. And there's these two different ramen brands, Chapaghetti and Niyoguri. Probably forgiveness for my pronunciations. I'm sure I'm like burrito. but you put them together, and it's called Chapaguri. So I was like, oh, well, I'm going to go do this. So I went out to the grocery store, and I'm looking for this stuff. And I found the Niyoguri pretty easily, but I couldn't find the Chapaghetti. And I was telling my girlfriend, Federica, this, and I was like, man, I even went out to the store, tried to find it, couldn't make it. Whatever. So anyway, I fly out to New York, and I get in about 8 o'clock or something, I think. And she's like, "Are you awake?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "You up for going somewhere?" And I was like, "Yeah." So we go, drop off the bags, we get a taxi, we drive, ways away from where she lives, and we go to this place, and she's like, "I want you to put your head down." And I was like, okay. So we walk in this restaurant, and then I start looking up because we're walking to the bar to wait for our table. She's like, "Put your head down." So I was like, okay. So I put my head down, and eventually we get led over to this table. And basically, long story short, it's this Korean restaurant called Cote. And they, because of the Oscar win, were making this chapaguri meal. But they were only doing it after 10 p.m., 3 days, and then that's it. And so, wow. But the reason she wanted me to put my head down was because everybody in there had it and was Instagramming it.
Oh, how funny. Okay.
So what I skipped was we didn't order at the table. She wanted it to be such a surprise that she called ahead and had them know that we were coming, know what we were ordering, so I would sit down and have it just put right in front of me as a surprise. Isn't that amazing?
That's kudos to her for arranging that. That's next level.
It was incredible. And so then I was just off the charts beaming and just couldn't believe it. And so then we get it. And it's funny too, because then these two guys sat next to us and they're like, "You got the chapaguri? How is it, man? How is it?" It was just so funny. Everybody wanted to try it. And I have to say, it was as good as I imagined in my head. It was so, so delicious. And I mean, she had gone to work that morning. She had picked me up at the airport, and then she went to this place after. It was 11:30 at night, just because that was the only time we could get it. It was amazing. So I thought for people who are listening to this who have seen Parasite would appreciate this. And also, I got to give an incredible shout out to Federica. That was unbelievable.
That's a slow clap.
Yes, slow clap.
I'm going to start it here, and people listening are going to carry it. That's my hope. Well, that's very nice. Brian, that whole thing sounds like a fantasy.
It kind of does, doesn't it? It sounds almost made up. Yeah.
I saw a movie called Fantasy Island.
Oh, go on.
which if it was just an hour and a half of cell phone footage of your experience being documented,
Yes.
it would have been a better movie.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a Blumhouse horror movie.
Yeah, the Blumhouse. Now, I have to say, it's certainly talking to my students, I realize that, well, this is a show that most people have barely any awareness of, right?
When I first saw the trailer, I had no idea it was connected to that TV show.
Yeah. I mean,
'Cause it wasn't a horror show.
It was not. I mean, well, it was somewhere. It wasn't quite the Love Boat, but it wasn't quite the Twilight Zone. So it was like somewhere in the middle, right? I feel like I should explain this because people might not know.
Yeah.
So this was an Aaron Spelling TV show in the late 70s, early 80s, right? Mm-hmm. And it starred Ricardo Montalban as Mr. Rourke, and he's on this island with his diminutive friend Tattoo.
The plane.
The plane. Yep. Yes, Tattoo. That is John Jackson. He wishes he could have done this, and then every episode, people would come to the island and they had a fantasy. They wish they had done this in life. They wish this had happened, whatever. And then, the episode would play out. It was like a little morality play. But it was, again, it wasn't Twilight Zone morality play where, the episode ends and you just kind of sit there in silence and ponder your own mortality. Right.
It turns out he was a hamster in a wheel the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah. It's it's weird how I feel like specifically the late 70s and early 80s were this boom time for these shows that managed these really inexplicable long runs. And you look back, I mean, 7 seasons this thing lasted, and it's even more disposable than cotton candy, right?
Right.
Because cotton candy, at least you have that feeling of, oh, that's good, and then you remember it tasting good,
Yeah, and you think about it too. TV shows back then were 24 episodes a season. I mean, we've gotten quite used to the notion of just 6 episodes or 12 episodes, but that's a lot of stories to come up with 7 years of that.
And it's a lot of episodes to have so little story. So anyway, it was what it was. So they brought it back about 20 years ago. I don't know if you know this. Barry Levinson, I want to say. It's either one of the Barrys, either Sonnenfeld or Levinson.
Oh shoot! Now in my head, I'm like, wait, which one's which? Wait, who's the one who made? Who's the cinematographer? Did Men in Black?
That's Sonnenfeld.
Yes. Okay.
And Levinson did Awakenings.
Okay.
I think that's right. So maybe Barry Sonnenfeld. That sounds. See, I should know this.
Yeah. No. It's so funny. I
should know this. Okay. So it was Barry Sonnenfeld. It was the Men in Black guy.
Okay.
And it was after Men in Black. So they brought it back on TV, and it had Malcolm McDowell as the Montalban.
I can see that.
You can see that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that didn't go anywhere. So now here we go with the Blumhouse version, and you kind of say, all right, well, as premises go, I can see, to quote Brian Hall, I can see the version of that works, right?
Yeah. I was just thinking that. All right, I get it.
And so this was I was, just to be clear, this is not something I was like, ooh, Fantasy Island, let me mark my calendar. This was they asked me to review it for the Chronicle, and I was like, sure. So bear in mind, the movie opened on Valentine's Day, February 14th. Okay. They did not screen it for me until February 13th at 2:30 p.m.
Right.
Okay, so there's your first red flag. Second red flag, you know how nowadays every movie has screenings on Thursday nights?
Yes.
Not this one.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It didn't start screening until 10 a.m. the next day.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there's your second red flag. Third red flag, I walk in, and the first thing they do is shove an NDA in my face.
No kidding. The day before it comes out?
Yes. I'm like, what's this? Oh, it's just non-disclosure. I'm like, I'm here to review it.
Right.
They're like, yeah, you can't talk about it until tomorrow at 10 a.m. I'm like,
wow.
So I'm like, all right. Now, bear in mind, even then, so this is 3 red flags, right?
Right.
If you walk into a date with 3 red flags, you walk out before the date starts.
Right.
Not me. Not this
Okay.
guy. Not Zacchaeus Hassan, Brian. I'm like, you know what? You never know. And I should have known, because it's just not good, you know.
Okay.
And it's weird. It's one of these things where, again, the potential is there, but it's just everything is watered down. First of all, it's PG-13,
Yes.
which that's fine, but it's also 2 hours long. And I'm like, either make it PG-13 and 90 minutes. Well, either way, it should be 90 minutes. This is a 90-minute premise.
Yeah.
But either like go this way or that. Definitely don't be 2 hours long. It comes off like Saw light. Saw for kids, you know.
Saw kids, yes. Kids Bop, Saw Bop. I don't know.
But it stars Michael Pena in the Mr. Rourke role.
Okay, love him.
I tend to like him and everything, and he was fine in this. He's sort of working his way through 70s Hispanic heartthrobs.
That's so true. Yeah,
Right?
Chips.
Because he already did Chips.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, so this is what's happening now. That's I see now. Michael Pena is just scratching names off the list.
That's funny. Yeah.
You know, and the whole thing ends up being, I mean, I'm going to spoil it at this point. Who cares? The whole thing basically ends up being the secret origin of Tattoo.
What?
That's the whole movie, right? Yeah.
Okay. sorry. Maybe it's not as funny as it seems.
No, it is.
Okay.
So we have a character. He's not a little person.
Okay.
But he's one of the people who shows up on the island, right?
Okay.
And
wait, is it by name or is it by the end? They're like, no, but my name's Lenny, but they call me Tattoo.
You're joking,
like yeah,
but it's basically that.
Okay.
It's one of those things where, because it's him and he's played by Jimmy O Yang, and so his character shows up with his brother, and they have like a whole arc. It's like 5 characters who all have different fantasies, and then they all play out over the 2 hours, right? And they intertwine.
Yeah. Oh, from Silicon Valley. Yep, I thought that sounded familiar. Yeah.
Yes.
O Yang.
Yeah, exactly. Silicon Valley.
Yep.
So he shows up, and his brother's like, "Hey, come on, T, let's do this." And he's like, "Hey, stop calling me that." And the whole time, that's like the character's name is Brax, I think, but it's like, "Hey, T, oh no, that's a college nickname, and it's embarrassing." Da, da, da. And I don't think anything about it. Okay.
Yeah. Why would you?
Yeah, exactly. And then so now what happens is that the brother ends up, through the course of the film, the brother gets killed. Okay.
Right.
And so, the Brax, aka T, is like, I want my brother to be back. And Mr. Rourke is like, for your brother to return, you must stay here forever. And I'm like, uh-oh. Wait a minute.
Right.
No. And he's like, so Brax, you will stay here. And he's like, well, my name isn't actually Brax, or something like that. Or it's like, my brother calls me T. Why does he call you T? And then it's because I made a mistake when I was in high school. And he like opens his shirt, and he has a tattoo that says tattoo.
Wait, a shirt?
He like opens his shirt.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said. I'm sorry.
He
went
opens
cross-eyed
his
for a
shirt,
second.
and like on his chest, on his pec,
I see.
he has a tattoo that says tattoo.
Oh, that's okay. Yes, I half understood.
Okay.
You know what? Am I crazy, or is that actually kind of great?
I busted out laughing.
You're right.
Because I just found it so hilarious that it's I'm trying to think of a parallel where it's like, because there have been movies that do that.
Yeah.
Where they, it's the secret origin of this character, but I'm like, it's so funny to me. Like, that's supposed to mean something, you know what I mean?
It's like Batman Begins,
Yeah.
but like for Fantasy Island, which I guarantee you, like more than half that audience does not remember. You know what? I'm trying to picture if this like writing assignment was given to me, and they're like, remake Fantasy Island, and me being like, screw it, and like coming up with that or something. You know, like, I kind of admire it.
Like, it's like, you're gonna have people watching. They're like, but where's Tattoo? And then the movie ends. They're like, Oh. Now
I kinda love
and then
it.
that's going to be it. They'll tell people. See, I always wondered about Tattoo. Did you know? Here's how he got that name, right?
Right.
And there's like maybe 4 people in that audience who will be
Right.
excited about that. But I mean, it's aimed at. I said this in my review. I'm like, who is this aimed at? Because nobody who is in the target demo would remember the show. Nobody who remembers the show would watch this movie. Mm-hmm. So it's like a perfect storm of not giving a shit.
Right.
Now I gotta say this review. So I watched it at 2:30, and this is in the city. So I get out at 4:30, and then I had class in out by me at 6:30. So I'm hauling ass, and I had to get this review written and turned in by 9. And I had been out since 6 a.m. So I was running on fumes of fumes.
Right.
And
this.
Ugh, it was brutal. And I have never in my life, A, written a review this fast, and B, written a review and had no memory of writing the review.
Really?
Like, that's how tired I was.
I knew this scenario that you were encountering for this. So as soon as you posted it, I stopped everything I was doing. I was like, I've got to read. I was like, like one of those characters in an old movie where I was like a little paper boy, and I was like, give me that, and dropped a nickel and ripped it up and opened it up on the corner right there. I had to read it.
I woke up the next morning and read it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't remember writing this. But
really?
It's not bad. Like, I was like, it's pretty good. I have no...
It was good.
I kid you not. I have no recollection of it.
Wow. Maybe that's the best way.
Maybe, I may have set a dangerous precedent for myself because I know just how far I can push
what you're
myself.
capable of. Yeah.
Naya, my daughter just woke up.
I've been thinking about that moment with the Indiana Jones action figure. It's an old man.
It's an old man. Why do you have an old man figure? Anyway, so that was my experience with Fantasy Island. Bad movie, not a bad review.
Yeah.
Of a bad movie.
Yeah.
A well-written review of a bad movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, I concur.
All right, what else do we have going on, Brian?
Well, I saw a movie on the plane that I thought I would bring up, more because the story behind it is somewhat interesting. But I saw The Current War. Do you remember this?
This is it's like Tesla versus something. Is that what I...
Yeah, more like Edison versus Westinghouse, and Tesla is thrown in there.
Oh, okay.
A little willy-nilly. But I thought the trailer
looked
looked sort of
willy-nilly
interesting.
his sidekick? Like Tattoo is...
Right.
Nikola Tesla and Little Willy Nilly. It's a whole series.
I like movies like this when I don't know the whole history of how was electricity introduced to America. I mean, obviously I know this is going to be a movie, so it's going to be, take it with a grain of salt, but the general idea, I'm interested in how that happened and knowing a little bit more about Edison. And
what a cast in this film, huh?
Yeah. Benedict Cumberbatch and Michael Shannon is Westinghouse, and Catherine Watterson is Westinghouse's wife, and what's that guy's name? Holt.
Nicholas Holt.
Yeah, Nicholas Holt is Tesla. So I watched it on the plane, and what was interesting about this movie was I remember seeing a trailer a couple years ago, but it turns out what happened was this was a movie, a Weinstein movie.
Oh, interesting.
And so when that that news broke, this movie got shelved because they didn't want to put it out for award season when it had that stink on it. So basically and apparently Weinstein, who's famous for this, had kind of hacked the movie up to the director's displeasure. Ugh. So after that happened, the director took the movie back, sold it, got another company to buy it for him. He cut it the way he wanted. So now it's actually called the Current War Director's Cut.
Interesting.
So, yeah, isn't it? So, anyway, then it did nothing. I don't even remember it being in theaters. But I saw it on the plane. I was like, ooh, I'd want to see this. And I'd say it's fine. It feels...
Okay.
There's, it has interesting elements in it. Benedict Cumberbatch is really good. And I knew Edison was kind of an unpleasant person, but it was... interesting to see that he would throw lies out into the press just to discredit Westinghouse. And I mean, according to this film, Westinghouse was more like, we don't play that game. And he kept dominating the territories across the U.S. anyway. But Edison was like, his electricity kills people. And
wow.
Just the different tactics they would use to try to, make their mark and whatnot. And then Tesla thrown in the bunch. And so there's the acting is good. The story is interesting. I haven't like fact checked it, so I don't know how accurate it really is. There's something a little bit disposable about the whole proceeding, and I don't quite know how to put my finger on it. But I definitely didn't regret watching it. And I do have to say there is a line literally in there where someone is firing Tesla, and they're like, the name Tesla will never appear on anything ever again. And I think on the airplane, I was like, wow.
A little on the nose.
A little on the nose. So it veers into that territory a bit, but then it comes back, and, Cumberbatch is really great. And I did enjoy their rivalry, and sometimes they meet face to face, and there's eventually even like a court scene that I found pretty compelling. So I think if that sounds interesting, I think people will kind of enjoy getting the little filmed Wikipedia page about this whole thing. But it's not something that you have to rush out to see, and that I think missed its shot at Best Picture or anything.
Okay. So, I do
terrible.
think, to dramatize this period, right? The moment when electricity went from a concept to the moment right after, where we just think of it as, well, of course we have electricity.
Yep.
Right? It's like doing something about the internet wars.
Yeah, and it's so close right now that I don't know how we'd respond to that, but I imagine years down the road it would be that's going to be a movie.
Yeah.
It is very much, the movie does do a good job of that, where it'll show people in a candlelit room, and then when electricity is introduced, you're like, wow, I just don't appreciate electricity.
Yeah.
I mean, what we're doing right now obviously would be impossible.
Right.
It's pretty amazing, and I mean, I'm glad these men figured it out. I mean, wish they'd gotten along better, but
it's like a couple weeks ago I had to explain dial-up internet to my kids. And they're like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "You had to get on the internet. It wasn't just something that was all around you like the Force."
It is, isn't it?
Right?
Yeah, you just hold up your phone and
yes,
whatever you want.
I was like, no, you had to sit down. There was a place you sat, and you waited, and if somebody got on the phone, you got kicked off.
Yep. And you had to go to an internet cafe sometimes.
Yeah.
You had to go to a place.
Seeking out pornography required a lot more effort.
Right.
I didn't tell them that part, but
right.
But I feel like that could make an interesting film.
I would love to see the Social Network version of that.
Let's get Timur Bekmambetov on the phone.
Yeah, right. Oh well, that's funny. We haven't talked about that, have we?
No. Well, so he produced the current war.
Oh. Well, I thought the reason you brought that up, I was
doing a little.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. But did you see that he is going to produce the first vertically shot movie?
I saw the headline, and I was about to start reading, but I just started weeping for humanity. And then I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so the idea here is, like, since we watch movies vertically on our phones.
Sure.
Not movies, like clips.
Yes. Like Instagram and Snapchat and all that.
Or social media, the aspect ratio. Why not do a whole movie like this? That's the calculus here?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
well, I'm like you. I saw the headline and I saw some graphic that went with it, and I thought, and just scrolled on. But if it's on your phone, like the Quibi thing, there's like a little part of me that's like, well, I can sort of see it as this niche little whatever. But the graphic, as I was led to believe, was it would be a theatrical thing, which makes no sense to me. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we're evolving backwards.
Right.
Like
yeah, it makes me think of those days when everybody hated the letterbox bars and didn't understand them, and now I'm just like, what are you guys doing?
Well, and I mean the whole point of phones have a wide screen aspect ratio. You just flip it over. Like, is this where laziness has like, I gotta turn it over slightly in my hand.
Yeah,
I don't want to do that.
This is where I stand on it, because I've thought about this a little bit. I've heard people say this, and when you're shooting something for like an Instagram story, I totally get it, because that is how you're going to view it, right? So when you're doing these little disposable things, that is one thing. But if you're going to the ocean, right, or the Grand Canyon, and you're going to film a video that you're eventually going to text to someone or you're going to do something with, I don't see why you wouldn't turn the camera to get the most visual information in that everyone can then turn their phones and look at later. So I can see it a little bit case by case, but I don't see why anyone would film everything vertically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so Timur Bekmambetov, he directed Wanted.
Yes. And
actually, just by chance, I was watching one of his films yesterday. I was watching Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
I like that movie.
Me too.
Yeah.
I had started watching it, and it was at an Abraham Lincoln part. So my wife walks in, she's like, "Oh, is this like a movie about Abraham Lincoln?" I was like, "Kind of." and then like some vampire attack happens. She's like, "What are you watching?"
I worked on a movie, and at lunch we would all get together, the director, the editors, all of us, and we were going through that movie during lunch over like 2 or 3 days, and it was just this fun thing that we all just loved. It was so much fun.
It is, yeah, and people who are listening are like, "Huh, really?" It's like I always say, like, you have to view it as what it is.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and I think a lot of people try to do this thing, and for some reason it just doesn't work. Like, they can't balance the camp and the necessary sort of drama to make it a story that you actually kind of care about your protagonist. But this movie was just the one that figured it out.
Like the tone, like you could see them really heavily, winking at the audience.
Yes.
And what I like about this is that other than the sort of ironic title, the movie itself plays it totally straight. Mm-hmm. And I think that's sort of the straight down the middle approach.
Yep. And I think about his training with that guy.
Yes.
It's just so good. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when it came out, I had gotten out of my morning class and I had like a couple hours where I wasn't supposed to be anywhere. And I'm like, I think that Abraham Lincoln movie opened today. I think I'll let me ask you something. This is unrelated to this, but thinking about going to see a movie. So I've had this conversation with a couple people, and they think I'm strange, and I need to get your thoughts on this. I'm somebody who I can tell you every movie that I've seen in the theater. I can tell you what theater I saw it in, and who I saw it with. If I saw it with somebody,
I would say about 8 to 9 times out of 10 I can do that.
Okay. So then,
very randomly, like something will come up. Actually, this is funny you say that, because just the other day, someone was saying some movie, and he was like, "Yeah, I remember you and I and this other guy saw it," and I was like, "Ooh," like I kind of couldn't remember, but I would say the majority, yes, I do remember.
So this is interesting, because I was talking to my wife, and she's like, "No one remembers that." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like, going back to my childhood, if you were to be like, "Hey, where did you see this?" I'd be able to tell you what theater I saw it in.
I remember where I saw So I Married an Axe Murderer.
See?
I remember it's pretty memorable. Yeah.
Okay,
actually.
So then this is just us film geeks. Then we have a special.
Maybe because they're not disposable events for us. I mean, they're very memorable. They burn little imprints into us, I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I'd be kind of curious to ask your wife, like what's different, why she doesn't, or I don't know.
Like I was telling her, I was like, I can't remember every movie I've seen in the theater, but if you were to say, "Hey, did you see this in the theater?" I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I saw it here and with so and so."
Yeah, because I'm just thinking the movie Good Will Hunting came up earlier this week, and I was like, "Yep, I saw that at AMC Cantera, and I remember who it was with, and I even remember what was going on that day."
I saw that at Marcus Cinema in Addison.
Yeah.
See? Maybe it's just us. I don't know.
Gladiator. It's funny because there's a lot of little anecdotes I think that go along with them. Because I remember with Gladiator, again, AMC Cantera, but I had to sit in the front row.
Ugh.
We were late, and that really. So when I think of that movie, I still think of it as really tall and too close. Yeah,
That's really funny.
Unbreakable. So many memories. Yeah, I remember all this stuff.
Do you remember the first movie you and I saw?
Was it Fight Club?
It was either Fight Club or Three Kings.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
So
I
whichever
do
one of
remember
those was
seeing
first.
both. I couldn't remember which one was first. For some reason in my head, I remember going to the movies with you and Sean for Fight Club and being like, wow, I'm hanging out with new people.
Oh, okay.
That's the feeling I remember with that movie.
Fight.
It very well could be Three Kings.
No,
as the
you know what? It
first
was
one.
Fight Club. It was Fight Club because that was September 10th of
Okay.
99.
Yeah, which was a very memorable, because I mean that movie just like was insane. So it's super memorable in the first place. But I remember being with you guys and being like, new friends.
do you? My recollection is watching that in like Bolingbrook.
Yeah, it was a theater that I didn't know.
Yes,
so
me
I couldn't
too.
tell you what it was, but I didn't know it.
Okay. See. Okay.
Yeah, see.
Now I know what it's like when doves cry. I was having literally I had this conversation with my wife, and then I had the same conversation with my brother, and they're both looking at me like I'm some weirdo, and I'm like,
Oh,
why
your
is
brother
it
too?
weird? I remember this stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna have to ask some people in my life. I mean, I know there's certain people who are gonna have
Ask
our
non-movie
answer,
people.
but I'll ask some other people too. I'm curious.
Yeah. Interesting. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
And I would love to, if anybody's interested, I would love for people to write in and tell us their experience, whether it is or isn't their experience. I'd be curious to hear a little bit more about it.
yeah. It's I know Paul Shirey would remember.
Yes.
I know Sean Coyle would remember. Mm-hmm. Right, but like we're part of this weird clique that we're a part of. Mm-hmm. But when you expand out to the normies.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, let's take a little break and we'll come back, talk some headlines.
Cool.
And we're back. And hey, the Batman is coming back.
Yeah, and I was just talking to a friend of mine, and he was like, too soon. And I was like, no, I'm ready.
If you would have, even a year ago, I would have been like too soon. Mm-hmm. And then you hear about who they're casting. Mm-hmm. And then you see that they're actually filming, and you're like, yep, no, I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. I've said this, I guess, but I'm just ready to see Batman told through a new voice. I'm excited about that.
Well, and it's kind of interesting because they have been filming, and so there's some set photos that have come out, which I'm sure you've seen. Mm-hmm. Matt Reeves put out a camera test that gives us sort of a glimpse of a version of the Batsuit. I don't know if it's going to be like the final version in the film, but I said this on Twitter a while ago because people are like, when are we going to see the Batsuit? What's it going to look like? And I said, here's my spoiler prediction. Robert Pattinson in the Batman suit is going to look like Robert Pattinson wearing a Batman suit.
Right.
Which, I mean, it's like, well, there's not much variation you can have within what a Batman suit looks like. I mean, in broad strokes,
Yes.
you have a sense. I mean, obviously they all look pretty different, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And so it's funny. We're like, what's it going to look like? I'm like, it's going to look like a Batman costume. Come on. We got 30 years of movie Batman suits.
Right.
There's a range. Just plug and play somewhere in there, right?
Yeah, and I'd say on the range, this feels sort of related or close to the Bale one, where it looks a little more tactical and
Yes.
sort of cobbled together. And as you said, we don't know if this is going to be the final suit. This could be him. This is what we've learned is that supposedly this takes place early in his career, so this could be him. His cobbled together costume by the end maybe has it refined.
Yeah, I mean, so there's some pictures that have come out of, and we should say it's not Pattinson in the suit; it's a stunt double. But looking at the suit, it looks visually like there was a comic book storyline a couple years ago called Zero Year, which is, it's not year one, but it's slightly after, but it's sort of the quote unquote new origin of Batman, which there's like a new one every couple months anyway. But in that one, that's what this looks like to me. It looks like the sort of the proto Batman armor before it ends up at the more refined one.
Mm-hmm. So is that a good series?
It's really good. You would like it.
I actually just wrote it down because I was like, "Ooh, Zero
yeah,
Year."
Zero Year. It's by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo.
Okay, I like all the early Batman stories when he's kind of figuring it out still.
This is one of the better ones.
Okay.
Yeah, it's personally I liked it better than year one, which is the Frank Miller.
Really, I like that one too. So okay,
yeah.
Great.
You might enjoy it. It's longer. It's like a 12-issue story. You can probably get it digitally.
Cool.
But it's like, hey, I kind of like that we're dropping back into the world, and we got it's a world where Batman already exists. Mm-hmm. The villains already exist.
Right.
And, it feels a little bit like Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah. And you were pointing out to me that the bat on the chest looks like it could be made up from a gun, right?
Yeah, so this has been making the rounds on the internet. And I don't know that we've gotten any verification, but right. there is a thing in the comic, only recently introduced by Kevin Smith of all people, that Batman tracked down the gun that killed his parents. Mm-hmm. And he melted it down and he turned it into the armor underneath his bat emblem. Mm-hmm. Like, this took their life, but it will save my life.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of cool. I like that.
Which, well, yes and no, because I don't know if guns are bulletproof.
Well, I mean, yes. don't get me wrong. Like, it makes no sense. It's not. but I like the symbolism of it.
Yeah, so they may have incorporated that into this. I don't know. In the absence of any official information, the internet is gonna internet.
Yeah, sure. But when you pointed that out, or when you suggested it, I looked at it and I was like, I can kind of see that. That's kind of cool.
It seems like that, maybe. Mm-hmm. I did find it amusing that now, and in response, people were like expanding on that. Or one person who's like a graphic designer for DC is like, oh, my idea is like, here's the new Robin design where the R is made from the scissors that cut the rope that his parents fell down or whatever. I'm like, oh, we could keep going.
That's funny.
But yeah, I mean, we know the Riddler and Catwoman and the Penguin are in this.
Mm-hmm. And people are speculating what it could be based on. And I guess some of the set photos, there were pumpkins, right? So some people were wondering if maybe it could be based on The Long Halloween. And Matt Reeves himself tweeted out a frame from Batman Year One.
So that seems likely to play some role in it.
Yeah, but it'd be nice if it was a mishmash of everything.
I'm hoping it's about the villains teaming up and turning the members of the UN into salt.
Yes, that's right.
I'm still fingers crossed for that.
Yes.
By the way, on the subject of Batman, we're talking about Ben Affleck is out there talking about his new movie called The Way Back.
Yes.
Not to be confused with The Way Back.
I know. Every time I see it, I think of
that. So, of course, he's talked about Batman and what ultimately led to him walking away. He there's an extensive story in the New York Times, which I don't know if you saw.
Yeah, I read it. Yeah,
he talked. I mean, it's a fantastic article.
Yes.
In terms of it feels very, very raw.
Yeah. And being pretty candid about his struggles.
Yes, he's been dealing with substance abuse issues in terms of alcoholism for a while, and he actually talks about what it is to navigate an addictive personality. Mm-hmm. And my number one thought was, I really hope this can be an educational opportunity for people who might be going through similar things. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right, where he talks about like, just you have this, it's like this. You're digging this deeper hole because of this thing, and you get it in your head like, well, if I just keep doing that thing, it'll get me out of this hole. Mm-hmm. Which makes no sense intellectually, but that's what addiction is, right? Mm-hmm. But specifically, he talks about his decision to walk away from making the Batman.
Right.
and I found the quote he gave quite telling, right? Where he says,
Right.
we had a script, and the plan here, I mean, we've covered this on the show. The plan, he was going to star, write, and direct this movie. Mm-hmm. That was the full intention, and then eventually it was like, we'll have somebody else direct it, and then eventually it was like, let's just walk away. But the quote here, he says, I showed somebody the Batman script, and they said, I think the script is good. I also think you'll drink yourself to death if you go through what you just went through again. Mm-hmm. Which, to me, I would assume that refers to Live by Night.
Oh, interesting.
Right, but I mean, I don't know, because to me, Batman versus Superman, I mean, it was a trying experience, but I would assume it was trying more so for Zack Snyder.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Maybe, yeah, like a complete and total undertaking like that.
Yeah.
On his own, yeah. I don't know.
I mean, he gave an interview the other day where he essentially says, I just lost the passion for it. Mm-hmm. He's like, I did a couple of those, and he's like, that's not where my heart was, and I just wanted to move on. And I'm like, good, man.
Yeah.
Like,
it was best for him.
Like, don't feel beholden to the machine, Mm-hmm. Because let's be honest, a Ben Affleck starring Batman film would have been a slam dunk.
I as we were talking about this, I was like, you know what? I think you can add this to one of those mythical movies that didn't happen. That you're like, what if? Yeah, I would love to see this movie. Absolutely.
Yeah. And certainly for him, we know his abilities as a writer. We know his abilities as a director. He was well liked in the role. The movie would have done well. Mm-hmm. We know that, and so he walked away from a sure thing. Mm-hmm. Because he put his emotional and mental health at a higher premium. Mm-hmm. You got to respect that.
That's admirable. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, people are still it's very funny to me because you got people online who are like, come on, Warner Brothers, just let him make his movie. And it's like, he's saying he doesn't want to.
Right.
It's like, come on, you read the article. He's like, I was going to die if I made that movie. Come on, just let him do it.
I know.
You're not helping him.
I know.
He's like, no, I'm good. Thanks.
Yeah.
I got the way back over here,
Yeah.
Here's another thing coming back. Speaking of things that are making their way back.
Yeah, and somewhat related to Matt Reeves.
This is true. Right? So Matt Reeves is, I mean, we forget that the Planet of the Apes trilogy that just ended. I mean, it started with Rupert Wyatt directing the first film.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that, actually.
We do forget.
Sorry, Rupert.
I mean, but you're not alone, right? Because it really does feel like Matt Reeves gets the lion's share of the credit. Mm-hmm. Right, but regardless, the three films are they performed well, and they're respected even now. Mm-hmm. And so it stands to reason that as Disney is going through the various IP that got acquired in the Fox merger, they say, well, we should do something with Planet of the Apes.
Yep.
And to me, there's a certain amount of pride in this because there's a lot of IP that Disney's like, no, we're good.
Right.
Like, Ridley Scott's like, hey, how about Alien, the sequel to Alien Covenant? And they're like, no.
Yeah, we're cool.
I think we're fine, Ridley. Thanks. But, there's room for Planet of the Apes. We talked about this before. Wes Ball, who did the Maze Runner films, is writing and directing this new film. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That is not going to be a reboot.
Right. I guess there was some rumor circulating that it was going to be, and so he went on Twitter and was like, no. Like, his exact thing was, it's never been easier for film journalists to actually get in touch with the people who actually know.
Yes.
Like, just ask me.
But, now, I do feel like part of this is less like irresponsible journalism than just the word reboot has lost all meaning.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like, I feel like I think, Brian, you and I need to define moving forward what reboot means. And therefore we can...
Versus a reimagining, versus a remake. Versus...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, okay.
Like, here's what I would say. There is a restart.
Yes.
Which to me means it paused, and now we are restarting.
In same universe.
Exactly.
Right.
There is a reboot, which I would consider the same as a reimagining, which is everything that happened before. That's that thing, but now we are rebooting it, a la Batman Begins.
Right.
And then there is a remake, which is telling the same story but doing it slightly different.
Right.
There. Done.
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 That wasn't so hard.
From now on, we're going to hold you to our arbitrary standard.
Right. Right.
But yeah, so this is a restart of the Ape franchise.
Yep. He literally says this is Caesar's legacy continuing. So
Yes. Now, what I've heard, and I know nothing, but what I've heard is that this may in fact end up being that retelling of the original apes that they've been talking about.
So, but from Caesar's point of view, possibly.
Well, not Caesar's point of view, because Caesar's dead.
Caesar. Oh yeah, that's right.
Right.
Caesar's legacy will continue. Well,
in other words, the films continue on, but those movies still happened.
Oh, I see. Yes.
So I don't know anything. But I'm always curious.
Yeah. I enjoy these movies. Like, I know these are near and dear to your heart, and like I just enjoy them because they're sort of different than everything else. So it's fun to step in this world that doesn't feel like any other movie.
Yes.
And just see what stories they come up with. So I'm always down for another one of these.
I mean, I have said before that I think there's enough story room that you never need to touch the original movie because you've got like 2,000 years of story time available.
Right.
So my preference would be, hey, well, just tell more stories. Like get there eventually if you need to.
You know what I'd love to see is the current war in the world of the Planet of the Apes. Like when the apes discovers electricity. Like what if they went through our history, right? But it's them. It's like inverse, right?
You say it humorously, but that's a really good idea.
I'd kind of be into it, and like maybe there's even like a Frost versus Nixon, but with apes.
But with apes. Well, I think there's something to the idea that the ape civilization is built on the bones of human civilization, right? And as time goes by, certainly by the time we end up at the 1968 movie, right, the idea of human beings being intelligent is not just a myth, but it's blasphemous to even suggest.
Right.
And so to me, I'm kind of like, well, what happened between...
Where did that get lost?
Yeah, like to me, the Caesar trilogy, it ends with Caesar's death, but it doesn't end with, okay, now we're ready for the 1968 movie. There's still a lot that needs to happen because human beings are still a thing. I feel like there's a nuclear war that still needs to happen. Like, you know what I mean?
Totally.
And when I say needs, I don't mean like, oh, you have to stick to that. I don't mean that. But I just mean in terms of the options that are available for you for the kinds of stories to tell.
You know what it makes me think? How with Transformers and the Avatar movies, how they have these story rooms. I think you should be in one of those story rooms.
You're goddamn right. Make that happen, Brian.
If I could, I absolutely would.
Oh my God. I would be so happy. I would just be flinging poop all day in the story room.
And then when all the other writers aren't coming up with everything and crumpled papers, and they'd be looking at you like, that guy gets it. Be like that guy.
I'd be like, damn you all to hell.
And then thrown poop.
Yeah. Hey. Well. Do we know when this is coming? This. When they're shooting for?
Actually, I don't know.
I wonder if it even has a release date, or if they're just kind of letting it.
Yeah. Simmer.
Yeah. I mean,
figure it out.
I have not seen the Maze Runner movies.
I haven't either.
So I want to watch those just to see, what kind of storyteller Wes Ball is. But I would assume this thing, they would want it to come out in the next couple of years. So.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, not wait too long.
We're in 2020. I would say the earliest is 2023. right? I mean, I don't think there's a script or anything at this point. So
I have no idea.
22 at the very earliest, maybe.
Yeah, like late 22.
Yeah. Anyway, other news. This is kind of interesting. There is a run on Friends right now.
Yeah, I found this really interesting. It feels like Friends, and I don't know if this is because of it being taken off of streaming, but it feels like it's been brought up in the kind of culture news a lot lately, and a lot of reflection, looking back and re-admiring the show. And I think it was one of Netflix's most popular draws, right? I mean, along with The Office and just things you wouldn't predict, but
Friends and
older
Office
sitcoms. Yeah. And so basically they decided to take it off of Netflix because it's going to be brought over to HBO Max. And so in doing that, the Blu-ray sales and DVD sales have just skyrocketed.
Yes, and digital sales.
And digital sales, yes. And so people, when we talk about, physical media and whatnot, if people are still interested in these sorts of things, it's like, well, I guess when there's necessity, people are. Because apparently, according to Variety, it said Friends sales have roughly tripled in terms of physical and digital releases since Netflix took it down at the end of 2019. And at the beginning of 2020, it was the top-selling catalog TV franchise in home entertainment. So this show it's on TBS all the time. It's on WGN, all these things, but it's still bringing in the big bucks. I mean, I guess it was worth paying them all that money.
That's the thing that's kind of amazing to me, and maybe I've said this on the show. I can't remember, but I mean, I'm teaching media classes every semester, so I get some window into what sort of commands cultural capital among kids who are like 18, 19, 20, right? Mm-hmm. And Friends is something that they're still like, yeah, Friends is my favorite show. They're wearing Friends shirts.
That's so interesting. I wonder, I was thinking about this with Back to the Future the other day, because that musical just debuted over in England.
Yes.
And in my head, I thought, oh, is he traveling from 2020? I mean, actually, that makes no sense now that I think about it, because it has to be the 50s.
Right.
But I thought, what's genius about that movie is 85 is almost a character in the movie. Like, it's like, we got to get back to 85. 85 exists this way, and this is what's familiar in 85. But it doesn't harp on, ponytails on the top of women's heads and leg warmers and all those sorts of things. Like, it's not about the technology.
Right.
It's technology we can understand. Like TVs, yeah, we have multiple TVs in our house. That's something we can still relate to, but in the 50s they didn't. And that's why it didn't really box itself in a way that makes it feel antiquated. Like, it's really easy to just relate to Marty still. Yes. And I wonder if Friends is sort of the same way. Like, they don't behave in a that's so 90s kind of way overtly. So it's still pretty easy to find your way into it even now.
I mean,
it doesn't feel. I remember growing up. Just real quick, my last thing is, I remember growing up, and I would watch reruns of, Gilligan's Island or this or that or whatever. But like certain '70s shows, I could never find my way in because they felt old.
Yes.
And I wonder if this show just found that sort of magic in the world that they created. They found a way to avoid that, where it doesn't feel old. It almost feels timeless.
Honestly, I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
Because Friends has been off the air for 16 years.
Yeah.
Right? So it would be the equivalent of, like, when did Friends start? 94, right? So it would be like in 1994, still talking about a show that ended in 1978. Passionately. Like, it's directly applicable to your life.
Right.
And I can't, I mean, there's shows that continue to resonate, but I mean, only in a retrospective way.
Yes. Like, we're not walking around wearing Three's Company T-shirts and.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would wear something like that, but just ironically,
Yeah.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
I would wear it for the kitsch value.
Yeah, and no diss to Three's Company, but it's like you say, it's not like something that we're all sort of quoting still and thinking about.
I mean, you look at like MASH.
Yeah.
Right. And I always use MASH as an example because, like, I would assume that my experience and your experience and people of our vintage is roughly the same, where it's like we knew of it and we maybe watched it occasionally, but it wasn't something that we were plugged into.
Mm-hmm. And binging, which didn't really exist. But
Which, yeah, I mean, I became a MASH fan as an adult.
mm-hmm.
You know, I've talked about this before. I bought the complete series set shortly after my first son was born, and I would at night I would rock with him,
Right.
and just watch MASH, and I just went through the whole series and that was the first time.
Yeah.
Right? But I talk to my students. I'm like, oh, MASH, and because it's part of my curriculum. They don't know what it is. They've never heard of it.
Sure. Sure.
Why would they? Right?
Yeah.
But here's something. Oh, who are the six friends? Boom, 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 boom. They know.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so that's, again, you can be very cynical about that, very not. I'm very, like, fed up with all the think pieces.
Yeah. Sure. Sure.
Like, is Friends actually bad? And Friends makes jokes about this. And it's like, yeah, well, you know, it was the 90s.
Right.
Like, I'm not excusing things that we've grown past in terms of being, like, stuff, making jokes about stuff, right?
Yes, I agree with you because it doesn't excuse it. I like the way you said it. It doesn't excuse it, but it's like, are we still like, yeah, remember, we know this happened, and like we grew, like, so, like, it's trying to get all this mileage out of re-digging up these things. It's like, no, yeah, we know,
right? You know,
we're past it, and we know better now, and it's okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
you know, but I mean, like, Friends, like, in the 90s, when we talk about the quote-unquote important sitcoms,
mm-hmm.
you had Seinfeld, Cheers, Friends, Frasier, mm-hmm. right? Of those four, by a wide margin, it's Friends that continues to drive a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Despite the fact that I would say objectively, the other three are probably better shows.
Sure, right.
And I like Friends. I'm a fan of the show. But, I mean, you know, Seinfeld, in terms of what it did, is so much more long-lasting in terms of inspiring comedians.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, kids don't talk about Seinfeld.
Right.
It's weird.
Yeah. Well, and it's been brought up over and over again to all the cast members, would you do a reunion? Is there going to be a reunion? And they, for years and years and years, were saying no. But now it has been officially confirmed that HBO Max is going to have an unscripted special, whatever that means, and they're going to get everybody back. Yeah, and apparently they're going to be paid $3 to $4 million each to appear in this thing.
Each.
Yep.
Now, first of all, it feels like they're putting the word unscripted in, like, small font.
Yes, right.
They're trying because you know what this is going to be. It's going to be them sitting in canvas chairs.
Right.
Being like, remember when we did that? Ha ha ha, that was funny.
And like a clip package, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is the equivalent of, hey, we'll pay you guys $4 million each to just, like, hang out for an afternoon and we film it.
Yep, and get everyone to subscribe to HBO Max, please. Yeah.
The reunion special will be included in the package, like, from now on HBO Max. Like, you can watch the series and then this reunion special. Mm-hmm. But at least anecdotally, based on what I'm saying, people are getting way too excited, which leads me to think they think it's like, hey, it's a new Friends adventure.
I know, and I mean, for spending almost $20 million on this thing, I mean, they gotta have something up their sleeves, right?
I mean, they
right?
have all said we don't want to do, like, another story with them.
Yeah, which I can understand. I mean, the whole vibe of that show, as fun as it still is, it seems like it would be weird to see them sort of slip back into that tone when we know them so well these days, like Jennifer Aniston. And I mean, at least for me, right? It doesn't seem like... Because the Curb Your Enthusiasm had that really brilliant way of bringing Seinfeld back, where it was on the show, Curb Your Enthusiasm, they were going to do a Seinfeld reunion. So you got some scenes of Seinfeld, but you were a little bit at a distance because you knew they were making the thing in the thing.
Right.
So you didn't have to just totally buy into Jerry Seinfeld pretending like he's TV Jerry Seinfeld again, which could have felt kind of awkward.
Yeah, and I mean, I think, we go back and forth because I think there are these, we're in this age now of all these shows being brought back, right? Mm-hmm. And some of them work, some of them don't.
I can't even believe Murphy Brown like came and went.
Came and went.
What a weird.
And
That was one of the weirder ones to me.
That was, and I watched it, and I kind of just felt bad for everybody.
Yeah.
Not because I was like, everyone's into it, they're doing it, but I'm just like, this doesn't feel of the moment. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, I just felt bad. Like, everyone comes back in with the best, hopes.
And totally. Yeah, of course.
To not have those hopes pan out, But on the other hand, like The Connors.
Yeah,
is pretty
seems
good.
to be going all right as far as I can tell.
Yeah,
still on.
But I don't know, and they're talking about bringing back Frasier.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've been talking about that for a little while.
Okay.
And I look at that and I'm like, I can see that working.
Mm-hmm.
Because
yeah, sure.
Because it's Kelsey Grammer, and now here's Frasier a little bit. Like, it's still Frasier,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I think Friends, as much as the characters, it's about that moment in your life.
Yes.
And so anything picking up this many years later would just, of necessity, be very different.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're not the same people in our 40s and 50s as we are in our 20s and 30s.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. People are very, very excited for the reunion. And again, my hunch is they don't realize that it's not going to be what they think it is.
Yeah. Well, it's coming this May, so we'll find out.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of my students talking about this stuff, it's very funny because last semester I mentioned the Friends spinoff, Joey.
Oh, yeah.
And I kid you not, they were convinced I was lying to them.
Even now, as you say it, it feels like you're lying. But yeah, I remember it.
It lasted 2 seasons.
Wow.
They're like, you made that up. I'm like, I didn't. Why would I make that up? They were absolutely convinced that I was just playing a prank on them.
I mean, look, they got their phones. Look it up.
Yeah. All right. Oh, actually, this is also interesting. Speaking of streaming things that are going on, Comcast is in negotiations to buy Vudu.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So Vudu, you know this about me, Brian. I kind of swear by Vudu.
Yeah.
Vudu did some voodoo on me. I have a library of content that on Vudu that at this point is 1,000+ movies.
Yeah, it's incredible, and television shows and
and it's become a resource for my family members who use my account because they're like, oh, I'm sure Zachy has it,
Guilty.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Which is nice. So this is a service owned by Walmart.
Okay. Wow, really?
Yeah. Did you know that?
I knew it was in conjunction with them in some way, I suppose, because you could take your DVDs or Blu-rays to a Walmart and then they would digitize it for you or whatever.
And digitize, like, that makes it sound more fancy schmancy. It's literally
yeah. I was just gonna.
You go to Walmart, you're like, hey, I own this, and then they'd hit a little button and say, okay, we're adding that to your account.
Yeah, which now, of course, you can do at home.
Exactly. So, Walmart acquired it in 2004. Wow. Or sorry, no, I beg your pardon. The service came into existence in 2004. Walmart acquired it in 2010.
Okay.
And it's just been plugging along, and it's kind of interesting to me that at this point, most smart TVs come with Vudu pre-installed, and so it's just a lot of people are already using it. Mm-hmm. And now, in addition to films that you purchase and television shows that you purchase, so this is an a la carte streaming service. So there's no subscription fee. You pay as you go. Mm-hmm. I personally like this model because it means I'm not relying on a movie to remain available. Mm-hmm. And once you purchase it and it's in your library, even if it's no longer available in the store, you still own it, which is nice. That's convenient.
Yeah, I think that's one of the fears of people buying the digital media.
Yes,
is that it could just up and disappear one day.
And my experience has been that that's not the case. You can not buy it later, but if you own it, you own it. Mm-hmm. And so now they also have free films that you can watch, but with commercials, and they also have free originals.
Oh, really? They have originals?
Yeah, I mean nothing major. I think their first original is they have a series based on the movie Mr. Mom.
Interesting. Wow, everybody's in this game, aren't they?
Yeah.
I guess Spectrum, right? The cable company. They brought back Mad About You, and
That's right. I heard about that.
it's only on Spectrum. So I mean, if you have Cox or whatever the other region, I mean, that's the thing, is it's regional. Some people can't choose their cable companies, and it's interesting that I don't know. It's just so much, Zaki.
Yeah, it's the thing is, it's one of those things where right now it's never been easier as a content creator to find a vehicle to get your work out there.
Sure.
So that's
Quibi
great.
and this and that, yeah.
Right? The downside is, but what if nobody knows about it? And what if nobody, like,
Yeah. How do you let anyone know you exist?
right?
And what if they don't have the thing that you're on?
Like, I'll bet you we could carry on a conversation with somebody and just make up a show and say it's on a thing, and people will believe it.
Yeah.
Because, like, well, I guess,
Sure. Why not?
right?
Yeah.
And, you think about that. I mean, the brass ring used to be getting on a network. Mm-hmm. And that still means something.
Sure. I mean, that is probably still going to be the biggest audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Comcast is looking to buy Vudu, and I'm intrigued by what this means. I'm wondering what the calculus here.
Yeah. To what end? What are they getting out of this?
I mean, I would assume they're getting ready access to all the people who already use the service. But I'm also like, anything that involves Vudu, I'm very protective.
Yeah. You like how it is now, so don't mess with it.
I got a lot of movies there.
Yeah.
So
Let's be honest. I'm invested in this too.
So I don't know. So Comcast owns NBC, right? Comcast owns Universal,
Yeah.
and they're launching the Peacock.
Oh yeah. Jeez.
See, I'm honestly, can I be honest? I'm just tired right now.
I know, because they got that Saved by the Bell reboot. I'm like, which I will never see because
Yes.
it's going to be on Peacock.
Yeah, and the Lisa Turtle, the actress.
Oh yeah.
Did you see this? They didn't ask her to. She said she's hurt. That they didn't bother to ask her to be a part of that. I'm like,
How
that's
could she not be?
Yeah. Like, I get not asking Screech.
Yeah, because he's brought,
He's brought
chaos into the
dishonor
mix.
to that dojo.
right? Yes, yeah. But yeah, that's a bummer. I mean, you feel a bit like and the rest on Gilligan's Island.
That's right. So that's a shame. Anyway, so Comcast potentially acquiring Vudu. What does this mean? We don't know. It just means that there's too many streaming services to be able to form an educated opinion about anything.
Yeah, well, and I hope they don't mess with it, or you don't lose any sorts of things, or hopefully
Yeah.
it only means gains.
One hopes. Mm-hmm. Speaking of new things, Brian, I hear some music.
That's right. So, last we heard, I believe, from Bob Iger when he was talking about Star Wars after we have just finished the Skywalker saga, he was saying, you know what, I think for right now, the future of Star Wars is in television. And so this week we get news that there's a new Star Wars movie. Apparently. J.D. Dillard, who directed a movie called Slight.
Yes.
Have you seen or heard of Slight?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
Me too, and it sounded cool. It was about like a magician kind of doing heists. Heists might be too big, but sort of like a cool little con man movie with a magician. I remember it sounded interesting, but I never saw it. So J.D. Dillard and then writer Matt Owens are apparently developing a Star Wars movie, and that's all we know about it. So let's see. Matt Owens did Luke Cage and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so I guess a Marvel guy. And we don't know if this is going to be theatrical. We don't know if it's going to be Disney Plus. Don't know a whole lot, but for them to announce, hey, Star Wars movie coming, it's pretty cool.
I mean, it is and it isn't.
Yeah, I was trying to be optimistic. I do mean it. I am. You got another Star Wars movie coming? Great, but it's not the same sort of enthusiasm that I may have had 5 years ago.
That's
no,
exactly.
Maybe it isn't.
It is not.
What am I saying? Maybe. Yeah. I'm more like, of course I'm going to be there, and of course I'm going to get excited about it as it approaches. But right now, I'm like, okay, we'll see. We'll see what that is.
Yeah, I mean, right. I'm kind of in this place where it's like, I'm they've pretty much shut the door on the Star Wars that I know.
Yes.
In big picture terms, and that's fine, but the Star Wars name is not going to get me in the door anymore. No,
really? It'll always get me in the door.
It'll get me in the door because, of course, I'm going to watch it. But I mean, I'm not going to give my heart as willingly. That's what I mean.
Yeah, I'm also coming off of having just finished Fallen Order on PlayStation.
Such a good game.
It is so good. I have to admit, it took me a minute to get into it because it's very open world. I mean, when you finish your task, it makes you walk all the way back through an entire planet to your ship, and I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I was like, I got to face these bad guys again? And it really kind of annoyed me. But then once the story really took hold, and then by the end, you meet the villain, and I was like, this is great. Why aren't these guys writing movies? If that had been a film, I would have left it pretty happy.
Sure.
So it got me thinking, okay, I'm ready for this. There's great stories to be told in the Star Wars universe. So I guess I'm coming off of a high again a little bit with it because of the game. So.
I mean, I'm always gonna watch Star Wars.
Yeah.
But I'm at this point now where I'm like, well, what is there here?
Yeah.
Like I remember being a kid when Dark Horse was putting out Star Wars comics, and this was like the first big, post original trilogy. There was the lull, where there's no licensing, and then gradually stuff started coming back, right?
Yeah.
So you had Dark Horse comes out with Dark Empire, and it's like, hey, here's Luke and Han, everybody's back. And you're like, oh, awesome, And then the second or third thing they did was called Tales of the Jedi. Mm-hmm. And it was like 1,000 years before, and it's like a bunch of people who we've never seen, but these are Jedi. And I remember I read it because, well, it's Star Wars, I guess I'll read it. But being like, well, okay,
Yeah, yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't know any of these people.
Right.
Right? And I feel like we're heading into that with some of this stuff, right? So that doesn't mean it won't win me over. But, I'm looking for the in,
Totally get it. Get it. Well, I hope they have some sort of awesome nugget up their sleeve that got them in the door and got them a gig.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to imagine, from all accounts, what we are reading about with Rise of Skywalker is that they are very mindful of what they're doing based on fan reactions. And so I have to imagine if they're going to do something, it's not willy-nilly,
If nothing else, the polarizing reaction to the Rise of Skywalker certainly tells me that Disney overthought things too much. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yep.
In the sense that, and you and I both like the film, so certainly this is not meant as a critique in that sense, but the film exists very much as hey, we need to course correct after the perceived polarizing reaction to The Last Jedi, right? Mm-hmm. And what happened? You ended up there anyway. Mm-hmm. You ended up with a polarized fan base regardless. Right. So maybe Rian Johnson was onto something. You say, well, you just got to tell the story.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's also been interesting where people online are like, if they would have made the Colin Trevorrow script, everything would have been fine. And it's like, I have now read it. Mm-hmm. Have you had a chance to read it?
No, I actually literally was planning to read it today. That's funny.
Oh, okay. I think it's good. I do think it's good. But it's a first draft.
Right. And Leia is prominent in it.
Very
right?
prominent. Yeah. So it was for sure going to have to change. Mm-hmm. That's number one. Number two, what you picture in your mind when you read a script is very different from what the movie looks like. So this this notion of like, oh, that movie I imagine in my head would have been so much better than the actual movie that got made.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Well, we can say that about everything. Mm-hmm. Right. And this speaks to something about internet culture which drives me crazy, which is the instant demand for a do-over.
Yeah, and people have been doing it for them.
Yes.
So it's we've been getting it. That's funny.
There's already been released the not Snyder Cut. That's been percolating through the GI tract of the internet for a while now. But release the JJ cut.
Yes. Yeah.
Because there's some hidden JJ Abrams version of this movie that'll save it in their mind. There's you name it for all this stuff. Mm-hmm. The Game of Thrones petition. Remember that?
Yes. Right.
People started a petition to completely ignore the last season of Game of Thrones and just do it over.
Do it over. Yeah.
I mean, have people always been this stupid and we're just now realizing it because the internet gives them a forum to broadcast it?
Well, thank goodness they invented change.org so we can do these.
That's right.
We can be heard. We can have our voices heard about these
things that matter.
Yeah.
It's like at some point, if it's no longer working for you, you say, well, I guess I just need to move on. Mm-hmm. And that's just how life goes.
Not anymore.
Yeah. Now you demand a mulligan.
Yeah.
Here's one other Star Wars thing I thought you might find interesting. I find it interesting. This year is the 40th anniversary of The Empire Strikes Back.
Whoa.
Pretty crazy. And to celebrate, there's going to be a bunch of new merch, including reissues of original Kenner action figures.
Oh, cool.
In vintage packaging.
Oh, that's fun. I like that they do that stuff.
Me too. So they did this already. They put out 6 figures for A New Hope.
Okay. Back when for 2017 for the anniversary.
No, I think it was this past year actually.
Oh.
So it just kind of worked out. But it was the original figure. So it's not resculpts. It's just they remolded. The original.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. And so again, in the old, it's reprinting those old cards, which you remember with the picture from the film and the Star Wars figures that we had, but they kind of weather it up.
Oh, that's fun
to make it look like it's actually vintage. But I'm like, dude, I would love to get. They're doing this a lot actually. Because I just saw, because Toy Fair is going on right now. They're also Hasbro, which has the Ghostbusters license.
Yes.
Hasbro owns Kenner, so they're going to be reissuing real Ghostbusters action figures from the old animated series.
Huh.
So again, not new sculpt, the original figures in reproductions of that packaging, just like it existed in like '86 or whatever.
See, that's funny because I know we've talked about this, but just because of my age, I sort of missed when all the fresh Star Wars toys were out, so I had to take what I could get on like the discount aisle at Kmart. Yep. And so it's funny because now I could recreate my collection and get, one red Emperor guard, and like, sort of that
Rancor Keeper.
Yeah, exactly. Sort of the random characters I had as opposed to the ones I wanted.
Hashtag Rancor Keeper forever.
Yes.
So that is that from Star Wars, right?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, let's take a little break and we'll talk about one of the new releases right now.
Cool.
All right, we're back, and hey, Sonic the Hedgehog is back.
Yeah, he is.
But did he ever?
Wait, did he ever leave?
So the film was just released this past week in theaters, and it performed ridiculously well for a movie like this.
Yeah, and I think people like us were wondering, and I think also Paramount had to be wondering, because this was supposed to come out like last fall or Thanksgiving or something, right?
Yes.
But then they had made this hideous design for Sonic that the world rejected.
Like as one.
As one.
We're complaining about the internet. This is one time
right.
where the entire internet came together in one voice. It said, I say thee nay.
Yes. And the studio was like, right, yep, of course, yep, we see it too. And went back and redesigned him and reanimated him for an entire feature film. And then we got Sonic, Valentine's Day weekend, I guess.
Yes,
and he did well. I was actually happy for them. I was like, they did the right thing, and it paid off.
So okay, yeah. So a couple of points here. The original design of Sonic, like you're not going to be able to find that trailer on YouTube. They've black boxed that thing.
Yeah, you can, but it's not from them, obviously.
Yeah.
I've seen people do side by side.
Side by side, but like just the original trailer as it existed. Good luck trying to find it.
Right.
But and we said this before, but I mean the original design was so wrong-headed.
Yes.
That it is worth pausing for a second and asking what the heck they were thinking.
I just have no idea. I really don't. Like, I don't know how they thought that was anything. But you know what? It makes me think of the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles. You know, and those were so off-putting. And
yes.
I'm sure, and it worked, I guess. Those movies were successful in a way, and they're like, yeah, no, this is what people want. They want something more rooted in reality.
And so they arrived at this Dr. Moreau, the sort of scientific abomination.
Yeah. I mean, he really did. Like he had like a weird human-esque body, which was kind of off-putting, and then human teeth and not cute cartoonish eyes. Like it just felt, yeah, like a weird science experiment between a man and a hedgehog, and it was just uncomfortable.
Yeah, and to their credit, I mean, is this the first time this has ever happened where a studio's like, oh my God, we need to fix this?
To my memory, right? And then it wouldn't have been possible in the 90s or anything, going back to our earlier conversation, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, so they're like, okay, we're going to kick this down for another 6 months. And I want to give mad credit to the effects animators.
Yes.
Who, I mean, I can't even imagine the amount of overtime they logged to fix this.
Yeah.
Something that should not have happened. Like this, they should have caught this a long time ago.
Yes.
Like it's
and
not
then to have to do this mad dash. Well, I guess no pun intended.
Yeah.
I mean, to reanimate an entire character. I mean, and he's the lead character. Like he can't go half on him. You know, it's yeah. And like it's not the animator's fault because they just they did the follow direction.
Yeah.
Yep.
So somebody in the food chain way above that made a really stupid mistake, and then they all had to pay the price for that.
Yeah.
But regardless, the movie ends up coming out, and it does like $65 million over the 4-day weekend.
Crazy.
And then it's number one again this weekend.
Oh, is it really?
With another like $26 million. So
26 million. That's great.
There was some competition from Call of the Wild.
Yeah, I thought I had read that was pretty neck and neck. So
that movie, I'm glad it's doing okay.
Yeah,
because it's Harrison Ford, of course.
Yep.
We want it to do well. But then I read that it cost $125 million. And I'm like, are you insane?
Okay.
Right?
Now I don't feel bad anymore. They made their bed.
Well, here's the thing with that, which I have not seen, and I'm hearing it's like fine.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I'm kind of interested. I think it just looks like something I might enjoy.
I have no doubt I would probably appreciate it. I have no doubt.
Yeah.
But why did it cost that much? Oh, because the dog is digital.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Let me throw this out there. Why does the dog need to be digital?
Yeah.
It's not Caesar.
Right.
It's a dog.
Or why not make some sort of hybrid? Like use the dog, a real dog, for most of it. But when you have these perilous sorts of things, and if he's jumping off of cliffs and doing whatever, well, then do your CG dog.
Yeah, like it's because the dog is played by Terry Notary, who he's the movement coach. He was Rocket in the Ape movies.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So I've seen footage of Terry Notary in his mocap suit, and like Harrison Ford is like rubbing his belly and stuff. And you have to imagine Harrison Ford just his entire time in his internal monologue is like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
How did I end up here? Like he's like rubbing his belly, freeze frame, voiceover. You're probably wondering how I ended up here.
Yes. When I was on the set of Witness, I never imagined being in a picture rubbing hands. Yeah.
I mean, but that's my point. Well, just get a dog.
I know. For that sort of thing. I get it. There's certain things that you just want to avoid. Because there was A Dog's Purpose, right? Where there was sort of a controversy about dog doing a stunt that maybe it didn't want to do, and which I guess apparently that wasn't accurate. But yeah, just avoid all that. It's like people. You come up with people's digital stunt doubles. So. Yes.
I mean,
if you're
obviously, if it's a scene where the dog is being whipped or swimming through ice water or something, then you finesse that with effect.
Yes.
But if it's, hey, Buck, come downstairs so you can eat, and and he runs down the stairs. Okay, well, you just train a dog to do that.
Right.
And it's not an effects shot.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, save money, save time, yeah.
I mean, this is a movie. If you spend $60 million on it, boom, you're free and clear.
Yes.
Anyway, I don't know, Brian. What were we talking about?
Sonic.
Yeah. So I took my kids last week, and my 11-year-old, he said if it was the old design, I wouldn't want to see it.
Wow. All right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I agree with him. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, his palate is refined enough at this point that he's like, no, I know what I want to see, and it's a somewhat video game accurate Sonic the Hedgehog.
Which I don't disagree. I don't know if I would have had any inkling to see this also if he had looked like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I, as you know, I take my kids to a lot of these movies, and usually it's nap time for me. Mm-hmm. I was as surprised as anybody how much I was genuinely engaged, and I laughed a lot.
Yeah, well, I had no plans to see this movie, and as I said, I was in New York, and you texted me and said, hey, Sonic's like kind of good. It's pretty funny. And so I mentioned it to my girlfriend, and she's like, I'm totally in the mood for something like that. So we just didn't even have plans for it. We just went and saw it, and we were just totally delighted. Like, it's just, I mean, it's light, and it is a kid's movie.
Yes.
But it's like super fun. It's like it's a good time.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you are, based on our conversation, if you have an inclination to go see it, I mean, know what you're getting.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
But I think it knows what it is, and it excels at being that.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, it's not all the jokes land, but I would say most of them do, and I found Sonic pretty charming and funny.
Yeah, and there was a reasonable amount of pathos in there.
Yeah.
Where, they gave him a character. They gave him an arc.
Yeah, and going back to what you said earlier about Fantasy Island, I mean, I don't know how long this movie is, but it felt breezy in the best way. Like it, and even in the middle, when I was thinking about it later, I was like, wait, what happened in the middle? I only remember like 2 things, but not even in a bad way. Like it's just a sit back, kick up your feet, enjoy something light and fun, and it just knows it did it right, Yeah, I mean, there's a couple things in there that I wondered if there was more. For example, James Marsden's sister-in-law doesn't like him, and I don't know why.
Yes, I wondered if because he's white, Brian.
Oh, whoa, okay. Oh, right, all right.
I just assumed that. I don't know. Maybe.
But it was like it. So I assumed there was probably a bit more.
Something got cut. Something got cut out.
Yeah. Just throughout, it felt like there's probably some
when the first time they see each other in the movie, he's like on the run.
Yes.
Right, but she's already at like 10, against
Yeah,
him.
she doesn't like him when his wife is talking to her on the phone at the beginning, but we don't
Yes.
exactly know why.
Yes.
And now,
Tika,
but
Tika
who
Sumpter,
cares?
Friend
honestly,
of the show, Tika Sumpter,
yeah.
is she the wife or the girlfriend?
I think it's a wife. I thought it was a girlfriend, but I think at some point it said they were married.
Oh, okay. She was fun, but she pretty much is just like I mean, in a movie like this, she's like kicked to the side, you know?
Oh, totally. I mean, it's just a little bit of antagonism for our guy. Yeah.
Yes, it's texture.
Yeah.
But she's good. I really liked her. But James Marsden is so charming in this.
Yeah. You really got to appreciate how difficult it must be to create a buddy relationship, that sort of chemistry with thin air.
Yes.
You know? Because I really did enjoy their friendship. And at one point, Sonic, he has this bucket list and he's saying, he wants a friend.
Right.
He's lonely because he has to hide out on planet Earth. And I really felt it. I was like, oh, poor guy. I want him to have a friend. And so then when, they inevitably become buddies, I thought it was really sweet. So, and I mean, that credit obviously goes to the animators and it goes to Marsden for creating, like I say, that chemistry with nothing.
Yeah, and Marsden, by the way, is no stranger to this because he's also in the movie Hop.
Which I haven't seen, but I got to imagine it's kind of similar.
It's basically, I happened to see it like 2 weeks ago because the boys were watching it on Netflix. And it's
funny.
It's, what's his name? Russell Brand is the rabbit. And I mean, it's
Okay.
just, it's like a test run for Sonic.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
I'm like, well, he's really found a niche for himself, James Marsden. So
Sure. Hey, why not?
He's also on Westworld, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Is he one of the automatons?
Yes.
Okay. I've never seen the show, sorry.
Yeah. And also he just personal note, he lives by me, so I see him all the time around.
Are you like Sonic in the movie, like looking through his window?
Want to be? Yeah. When I see him in his car, I'm sort of like running in the background and like trying to, maybe, like trying to get his attention.
Cyclops.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah, I would say '90s Jim Carrey.
I was about to say this is like 1996 Jim Carrey.
Yeah. What'd you think? What'd you think about him being Jim Carrey-ish at whatever he is now? All these years later.
He was having so much fun.
Yeah.
And
I personally, as a fan of Jim Carrey, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean, he's just fully. I mean, we haven't seen this Jim Carrey in a long time.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, when's the last time he just did like a madcap film? Well, I mean, there was Dumb and Dumber, the sequel,
Ugh.
right?
Yeah, less said the better.
Sadly, yeah, you were not a fan of that one.
No, that was one where it was just you shouldn't go back.
Sometimes you can't go home again.
Yep. But no, I thought they did a pretty good. I mean, credit to him, obviously, and then I'm going to go out there and say the editors, I assume, where it was just the right amounts.
Yes.
Like they let him play a little bit. Like there's that one scene where he's kind of dancing in his trailer, but it was just enough to be amusing, and then they like get out of it.
Yeah, it's a tightrope, right? Because he still has to be the villain.
Yes.
So there is that, but I mean, I think the character. This is Dr. Robotnik, it allowed for certain Jim Carrey affectations, which we know and love, but still within the framework of, well, he is the villain of the piece. So
yes,
so there is that.
And they actually give him kind of a backstory where occasionally I started to feel bad for him.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's not like he had a rough childhood.
That's right. Yeah, so I mean, it's light and breezy. I would recommend. I don't think we even need to really go into spoilers, do we?
Not really, no. But I thought the jokes were really fun. There's like a Fast and Furious joke that cracked me up.
That's same, yeah.
Yeah, he's talking about Fast and Furious, and he's like, it's all about family, Tom.
Yeah, I had the same reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, Ben Schwartz, who does the voice, I think do credit. He did a good job with that too.
Yeah, and what was funny too is I thought if this movie had been made in the 90s, they probably would have made him a little too poochy. Like
yes.
In your face to the extreme. And I thought this was like the perfect 2020 balance where he is a little bit of that.
You got the floss dance in there.
Wait, sorry?
You got the floss dance in there.
You did get the floss. That's yes. But he he is kind of hyper and cool, but he's also kind of, insecure at times and sweet. And he really, I really love that whole set piece in the bar, where he was just excited to be out and amongst people. And he's like, I want to do this, and I want to ride a bull, and I want to da-da-da-da. Like, he's just, so he's not just too cool for school. I think I could see the version years ago where they would have done that. So he is a cool guy, and we think he's cool, but he also is sweet and has wants and needs. And I was thinking about that. I don't know if he would have been the same character like 20 years ago.
Yeah, one wonders. I mean, there was a Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon show.
Mm-hmm. Which I've never seen.
I mean, there have been a few, but like the first time they did it was like 93, I think.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, you know who did Sonic's voice?
No.
Here's a little trivia for you. Jaleel White.
Really?
Yeah, he was the first Sonic the Hedgehog voice.
Huh. Steve Urkel, for those who don't know. Yeah.
You can impress your friends at a party with that little nugget.
Good for him.
But there will, virtually certainty, there will be a Sonic the Hedgehog sequel. And your movie is number 1 2 weekends in a row.
Mm-hmm.
It's already made more than $100 million. And they set it up. They set up the sequel at the end.
Yeah.
In a fun way, in the sense that my kids were shouting at that moment.
Since we're not in spoilers, I won't say exactly what happens. But it's funny because in my head, I thought, oh, wow, that's fun. And I wasn't sure if Federica was going to know what it was. But then she leaned over and she was like, hey, that. And I was like, yeah. And it's funny because then a couple days later, I was talking to our friend Sean about it. And he was like, yeah. And then when that thing happened at the end, I was like, hey, that thing. And I was like, oh, wow, we all had that reaction. So it sounds like you and your kids had it. And that's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, they were super excited.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, well, this movie has found its audience,
Yeah, I would absolutely go watch a second one of these.
Yeah, well, I think Paramount. There was a lot of flop sweat on a lot of eyebrows.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Right, heading into last weekend, so I'm sure that they're breathing a big sigh of relief because they are in desperate need of anything that they can turn into a franchise.
Yeah. Well, they had the Terminator thing and. A lot of stuff not going their way.
Things have not been turning up aces for them, but now everything's coming up Millhouse.
Yep.
For Paramount. So that is our reaction to Sonic the Hedgehog. A fun time at the movies for the young and the young at heart.
I couldn't have said it better.
There you go. And with that, we can wrap up this episode of the show.
Yeah, this is fun.
So this has been Movie Film 195, and we are 5 away from the big 200.
Yeah.
We got something planned. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, well, we'll figure it out.
As always, I want to remind everybody, please, if you like what we're doing, go to iTunes and leave a review, leave a star rating. Every little bit helps. If you want to let us know your thoughts on the show, you can email us at moviefilmpodcast@gmail.com. You can also hit like on our Facebook page, facebook.com/moviefilmpodcast, and message us there. If you're looking for me, you can find me at my website, Zackie'sCorner.com. That's ZAKIS Corner. That's also my Twitter. That's also my Instagram. Also, look for a new article I have coming up this coming week at the San Francisco Chronicle, where I look at the pulp superhero movies of the 1990s. So I look at Dick Tracy, The Shadow, and The Phantom.
I can't wait.
That was a fun, the fact that I got to pitch that and actually turn it into a thing that's going to be in the newspaper. It's very
living
surreal.
the dream.
It really is.
That's great.
And what do you have going on, Brian?
Still writing for Puppy Dog Pals, and new episodes are airing. I actually wrote the Valentine's Day one that aired like a week ago, and I was really proud of it. So it's amazing. I mean, I turn these things in on pieces of paper, and then when you see what these animators and voice actors and composers do, it's incredible. So it's really fun.
You are living the dream too.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that wraps up this episode. On behalf of my partner, Brian Hall, my name is Zachy Hassan. This has been Movie Film 195. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll catch you next time.
Welcome, friends, it's the Movie Film Podcast. Movie Film Podcast, enjoy the show. Zachy and Brian are talking about movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio.